Plotlines from 4 different books have been set up for the Wheel of Time's 4th season. The show has combined elements of multiple novels from Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series into its stories, but for the most part, Prime Video's adaptation of the Wheel of Time has maintained a 1-book-per-season approach. The first, second, and fourth books drove the arcs of its first 3 seasons, creating the impression that the next season would follow the same formula. While the show's track record does indicate that one book will be picked to serve as the primary influence on the Wheel of Time Season 4, certain details suggest its story will instead be an amalgamation of multiple installments. In fact, the Wheel of Time Season 3's last 2 episodes appear to have laid the groundwork for 4 books to drive the story of the series' next chapter. 4. The Dragon Reborn. Rand takes the Stone of Tear in the 3rd Wheel of Time book. From the looks of things, the Wheel of Time is poised to take a step backward in the timeline of the books. In the show, Rand al'Thor decided not to heed Moiraine Damodred's advice about taking the Stone of Tear and went to the Ale City of Ruideen first. This allowed the show to skip over the events of The Dragon Reborn, where Rand's seizure of the Stone of Tear was the book's grand finale. However, the show clearly hasn't dropped that plot line, as it's been repeatedly mentioned that Rand must go to the Stone of Tear and claim Calendar if he's to complete the Dragon Reborn prophecy. Moiraine noted in the Wheel of Time Season 3 finale that with the Ale at his back, Rand now has an army capable of taking the Stone of Tear. This goes to show that retrieving Calendar is likely next on Rand's agenda, and possibly something he'll do early into Season 4. That would make sense, considering that most of the Dragon Reborn has been rendered unnecessary at this point, plus the fact that Rand's journey to Tear wasn't prominently featured in the book. With that in mind, the Wheel of Time could cover this event rather quickly. The Fires of Heaven. Rand fights Ravin in the 5th Wheel of Time book. While the Dragon Reborn's ending will probably take up some space in Season 4, it looks like the Fires of Heaven will be the biggest focus of the season. Several signs point it to being the next book being adapted, one of which being Couladin refusing to accept Rand as the Kare Khan and leaving with the Shido. In the Fires of Heaven, this decision culminates in Rand's army chasing the Shido for a showdown in Cairhien. After that, Rand sets his sights on Ravin, who has overthrown Queen Morgase. This development has been set up as well, with Ravin confirmed to be using compulsion on the Queen and her family. Not only is Ravin, Rand's main antagonist in the Fires of Heaven, in position to be a villain in Season 4, but Nynaeve's group is also on track to fight Moghedien, their opponent from the book. Similar to what happened at the end of the Shadow Rising, Moghedien ended up with a piece of the male Adam. If the show follows the path set by the Fires of Heaven, Wheel of Time's characters will use Tel'aran'rhiod Riot to find Moghedien. 2. Lord of Chaos. The Aes Sedai capture Rand in the 6th Wheel of Time book. Ravin and Couladin may not be the only threats Rand will need to deal with in Season 4. Elada said she'll be sending 8 Aes Sedai after him, noting that this enough to capture a male channeler. What's more, Galena Caspan appears to have taken the lead of the Red Odger in the White Tower. Both of these developments create the setup for the story in Lord of Chaos where Galena leads the Aes Sedai on a mission to capture Rand and in Lord of Chaos. What ultimately saves Rand is the voice of Lews Therin Teleman aka the dragon in his head. Lews Therin tells Rand what he has to do to untie the shield they've placed on him. Lews Therin developing a presence in Rand's consciousness was seemingly hinted at by the mysterious, shadowy figure in the Wheel of Time Season 3 finale. 1. Towers of Midnight. Perrin stands trial for killing Geofram Bornhold in the 13th Wheel of Time book. Given that it's the 13th entry in the series, Towers of Midnight would arguably be the most surprising choice to act as the basis of a Season 4 storyline. But that appears to be where the show is headed, as evidenced by the ending of the Wheel of Time Season 3, Episode 7. Rather than turn the White Cloaks away, Perrin surrendered himself to Dane Bornhold to face justice for the killing of his father, Geofram Bornhold, in the Season 2 finale. In doing so, the Wheel of Time set the stage for Perrin to get his story from Towers of Midnight. In the book, Perrin became a prisoner of the White Cloaks and had to stand trial for his alleged murder of Geofram. It could be that because Perrin missed out on the Fires of Heaven completely, the show is having to pull from a later book in order to ensure Perrin's relevance to the plot.